What is up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Zone. Today let us get started with Jon Jones breaking his silence on a Tom Aspinall fight. Jon Jones has not had much to say about Tom Aspinall in recent months, at least not publicly. Now that the rising heavyweight remains the UFC interim champion, Bones appears to be acknowledging that the two should fight. For some time fans, pundits and fighters have been calling for a matchup between Jones and Aspinall. However, with the UFC and Jones targeting a fight with Stipe Miocic, it has been unclear if and when Jones and Aspinall would meet. At UFC 304 on Saturday, Aspinall took another step toward making the fight a reality by quickly finishing Curtis Blaydes. That win appears to have prompted Jones to post "Supply and demand at its finest, I love it." This is an interesting development since Jones has largely focused on Miocic and defending that matchup. Meanwhile, Aspinall continues to campaign for a fight with the former light heavyweight king and current heavyweight champion. Following his win at UFC 304, the British star shared a video calling Jones out.
I'm the best heavyweight in the world. Prove me wrong, Jon. If you think you are, prove me wrong. Simple, nothing personal. I ain't hating on nobody. I'm the best heavyweight in the world. If you think you are, let's settle it. Simple as that.
Last week, Dana White confirmed that the winner of Aspinall vs. Blaydes will fight the winner of Jones vs. Miocic. However, based on the way Aspinall has been talking, you have to wonder if he is trying to push the UFC to abandon that plan and move straight to a heavyweight unification fight. Of course, it could also be that Aspinall is simply assuming Jon Jones will beat Miocic, which, to be fair, a lot of people are assuming. But what do you think? Should the UFC scrap the Jones-Miocic fight and go forward with a heavyweight unification bout instead? Dana White releases fighter from the UFC. Muhammad Mokaev has been regarded as one of the top prospects in all of mixed martial arts for quite some time, not just in the flyweight division. However, it looks like UFC 304 will likely mark the last time we see Mokaev inside the octagon. The Dagestan-born UK fighter faced Manel Kape on Saturday night and earned a unanimous decision victory. The fight immediately drew backlash online as it did not feature the level of intensity many fans were expecting, especially after two pre-fight altercations between the fighters leading up to UFC 304. After the bout, which was the final fight on Mokaev's UFC contract, the 23-year-old claimed that the promotion warned him not to wrestle too much against Kape. According to Mokaev, the UFC told him that a new contract would depend on how that fight played out.
They said they're gonna see how I perform. They don't want to see me keep shooting and taking somebody down, but I've done what I could do with like tonight. Yeah, they don't like this because they tried to get rid of flyweights before and they don't want this kind of fight. But listen, I'm young, I'm still not in my prime. If they want me to stand and bang with toe-to-toe with these like 30 years old grown men, I have to do what's best for me to win.
Dana White told the media that the promotion will not be re-signing Mokaev. He dismissed the claim that the decision had anything to do with those allegations.
He's not on a contract anymore. I think the PFL is going to get a great undefeated guy.
Why?
None of the above. Listen, for whatever reason, the stuff that played out here over the last several months, it started at the PI and other stories of this breaking out, plus many other things. These guys don't want to re-sign him.
You never know what can happen in the future, but it certainly looks like Mokaev's days as a UFC fighter are over. As further proof, the UFC has already removed Mokaev from the promotion's flyweight rankings. So what do you think is the real story here? Was Mokaev let go because of his grappling-centric style, or for the reasons Dana White claimed? Up next, Khabib reacts to Belal Muhammad's fight. Following Belal Muhammad's clear and somewhat surprising win over Leon Edwards at UFC 304, Khabib Nurmagomedov was quick to praise the new welterweight champion. Khabib also appeared to dismiss Dana White's assertion that Muhammad's victory was due to the time he spent training with the former lightweight king. Since Edwards was largely able to shut down the wrestling of Kamaru Usman and Colby Covington in his last two title defenses, many believed Belal would struggle to take him down. However, Muhammad proved that theory completely wrong as he secured multiple takedowns and used his grappling to earn a title victory. After the event, White credited Belal's time training with Khabib as a key factor while also taking a shot at the fight from an entertainment standpoint. Khabib, on the other hand, was quick to shut down that idea. All that aside, Muhammad was understandably full of confidence while reflecting on his performance.
I think I'm the best fighter in the world. I know I'm the best fighter in the world. I just had to prove it, and I had to show you guys. We had 3 years to sit there, and I had to sit there and dwell on that thing, that last fight of everybody saying, oh, he would have beat him, he would have won the last other rounds, he would have did this, he would have did that. We didn't even get started that fight. This fight, we got started. This is what we did. We just dominated the champion, we made it look easy, and we did it better than Kobe did, better than Usman did, and
It will be interesting to see how long Belal can hold on to the belt. The surging champion was asked about the possibility of fighting Shavkat Rakhmonov next, and Muhammad said he is open to the matchup. So whether you are a fan of Belal's style or not, no one can deny his determination and heart. UFC fight updates. The UFC's 2024 campaign is quickly approaching its final stretch, but that does not mean the promotion's matchmakers are done. Case in point, several new bouts have recently been added to upcoming cards. Next month's UFC 305 event in Australia picked up a couple of notable matchups. Dan Hooker has confirmed that he will face fellow lightweight contender Mateusz Gamrot. It will be interesting to see whether Hooker can neutralize Gamrot's elite grappling. In addition, All In Sports Management confirmed that after Teresa Bleda withdrew from UFC 305, Casey O'Neill will now face Luana Santos. It is also being reported that undefeated flyweight Clayton Carpenter will take on Lucas Rosa at the UFC's October 12th fight night card, which has yet to have an official venue announced. Meanwhile, next month's UFC 306 card at the Sphere is set to feature a bantamweight matchup between contenders Irene Aldana and Norma Dumont. Paddy Pimblett talks about an Ilia Topuria fight. At the moment, Paddy Pimblett and Ilia Topuria appear to be on very different UFC paths. However, due to their ongoing rivalry, Paddy was asked about the possibility of facing the featherweight champion. Pimblett is coming off a big win over longtime lightweight contender Bobby Green at UFC 304, where he shocked the MMA world by submitting Green with a triangle choke. After the fight, Paddy was asked by the media about a potential showdown with Topuria down the line, and unsurprisingly, he made it clear that he would take the fight even if the timing does not seem realistic right now.
Everyone underestimates me, lad, just because I look like a 14-year-old girl. Know what I mean? You can't beat shutting some kids up. It's brilliant. Like, I love shutting haters up, lad. The amount of people that I've seen say he's never gonna be ranked, he's not good enough to be ranked, he'll never be in the top 15, all that. Like, even fighters seen on YouTube, people talking and then I just go out there and put on a flawless performance.
Fan of Paddy the Baddy or not, there is no denying that he made a serious statement at UFC 304. Up next, the MMA community reacts to Dana White's announcement. If you watched the UFC 304 post-fight press conference, you probably noticed that Dana White was in a particularly sour mood. During the presser, he expressed dissatisfaction with the performances of Belal Muhammad Mokaff, and even with some of the questions he was asked. One moment that stood out came when White was asked whether the promotion might move to handing out $100,000 bonuses instead of the standard $50,000 at every event. White had agreed to increase the bonuses for UFC 304 during the pre-fight press conference. However, this time he responded with a fiery answer that quickly caught the attention of the MMA community.
It showed that we should not. No. Upping them doesn't change anything. It doesn't make anybody fight any harder. It doesn't change anything. I'm not doing this again. Ever. Today was the last day that I'm doing that. Yeah. Not saying that in the future the bonuses couldn't get up, but I'm not gonna be at a press conference and say 200, 300. Never again. Never again. So you can thank everybody on this card for that.
Surprisingly grumpy Dana White's comments sparked backlash online, including criticism from Ariel Helwani and several others who pointed out that the card took place in the middle of the night. That led many fans to question whether the late start time played a role in the overall mood and performances. Some argued that the UFC shares the blame since the promotion is responsible for scheduling the event. Online reactions were harsh, with fans saying the UFC messed up the card in every possible way, from an awful start time for UK fans to serious production issues and lackluster performances. Despite that, Dana placed the blame on the fighters, which only fueled more anger. Critics questioned how peak performance can be expected when fighters and fans are forced to operate in the early morning hours. Others suggested the crowd was quiet simply because they were exhausted. Many also accused Dana of looking for excuses to reduce bonuses and shift responsibility away from the promotion. Some even speculated that rising production costs for future events may be influencing these decisions. So what do you think? Was Dana White out of line with these comments, or does he have a valid point? Up next, Merab Dvalishvili calls out a UFC referee. Merab Dvalishvili has made it clear on multiple occasions that he is not a fan of referee Mark Goddard. Recently, the bantamweight contender went after the veteran official once again, accusing him of stopping fights too early. Merab believes that was the case in Sean O'Malley's win over his close friend Aljamain Sterling. Sterling was dropped by a clean counter shot, and as O'Malley followed up, the referee stepped in to stop the fight. According to Merab, Goddard did not follow the instructions he had given Sterling beforehand. Speaking recently with the Schmo, the Georgian fighter shared his frustration and explained why he believes the stoppage was premature.
So, and then Margada he stopped Aljo early because he was saying, hey, move. And when Aljo moved, then he stopped. Well, if you tell me move and I move, then you stop me while you tell me move. You know what I'm saying?
Chances are we won't see Goddard officiating the headliner for UFC 306, which will feature Ali and Deesh throwing down in the main event. Max Holloway versus Ilia Topuria for UFC Abu Dhabi. Holloway versus Ilia Topuria is in the works. Ilia Topuria said on Spanish TV that he's going to be fighting Max Holloway at Abu Dhabi, with reports of Islam Makhachev stepping out of Abu Dhabi due to injury. It's possible that Ilia and Max take the headlining spot. Ariel Helwani seemed to confirm this by tweeting, the Islam injury is going to be interesting, can't do Abu Dhabi, no MSG, and they wouldn't put him with Conor in December, which means earliest Arman gets his shot is January. I guess he doesn't have to do the PSA after all. He also responded to a fan asking about the Ilia and Max fight by saying, yes, this is very real because of the injury. Islam revealed in a recent interview plans are now a changing. Leon Edwards breaks silence after his loss at UFC 304. Edwards breaks silence after his loss at UFC 304 to the new champion Belal Muhammad. Leon posted on Instagram addressing his defeat, saying, to my fans, I'm sorry I couldn't get the job done this time. I have been through harder times than this in life and I will rise again. Thanks for all the love and support. I will get this back in blood. #headshot. Top comments: Jones at heavyweight, 1 win against the guy who just lost to the actual belt holder. Aspinall at heavyweight, multiple wins over multiple ranked active fighters, wins interim belt and doesn't wait a year to defend it. Aspinall the real champion. I heard Dana saying that no one on the card fought like they wanted the bonus. I guess Tom wanted the Jones fight instead of the 200k bonus. Like, what the F is Dana? And despite Belal dominating Leon, the 2 judges scored biasly, making the fight a close fight. Only 1 judge was honest. Yeah, Jones' IQ tells him not to step foot in the octagon with Aspen. Music.